What's up, my grillas? This episode goes off the rail pretty hard. We had the guest walk off halfway through. Managed to wrangle him back, but as such, the episode's pretty disjointed. We'll be back next week with more of that classic content you love, but in the meantime, this one's pretty fucking funny, so enjoy, boys.
Outrageously pissing
you just
off.
sound, dude. You just sound
such an
disingenuous.
degree.
You were just being disingenuous.
It's
to
really
get to me.
easy to accuse someone of being disingenuous, but I'm not. Most of my opinions
What
are
are you
actually
talking about? You
super
literally
heartfelt.
accused me of making assumptions while making a blatant assumption yourself.
I don't know what you're talking about, nor do the people who are listening to this, because I believe we're now recording.
Right,
so
you are, my friend. Let's fucking go!
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah, yeah. Okay, I think I'm a boomer. I think I'm a zoomer. I think I'm a doomer. Damn, I'm Mike a zoomer. Okay. EWGWHITE coming with the heat.
I stay fooling with my bop, my tunes will make your speakers hot. Dance floor, hopscotch, baby, do the pop and knock.
Welcome to the Grillcast, the only podcast in the world dedicated to radical centrism. I am your host, Orion. Joining me, as always, is Micah. What's up, buddy?
Howdy.
Howdy, howdy. And we have a very special returning guest. We have Pip.
What's up, everybody? I won't say I'm glad to be back, but Orion hit me up the other day, and he said that y'all went from dozens to hundreds of subscribers, which sounds to me like your show is as unstoppable as Joe Biden's approval rating. And
Agreed.
that's
Nice.
highly concerning
Good.
to me as a staunch opponent of centrism, which is I need to emphasize right now a right-wing movement. It's not actually on the political set.
Hey.
In case anybody was not clear on that up until this point.
Oh boy.
Right.
Wing cut
It's
confirmed.
extraordinarily
Oh,
obvious to
Yeah,
everybody
we knew.
involved.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Whatever a wing cuck is, I don't think anybody outside of your bubble cares.
Why don't you
Well-
cool it with your QAnon conspiracy theories about centrism
Seriously.
secretly being right-oidism? Oh, you disagree with me. You have to be
No.
a right-oid.
Just to
Oh.
be clear, just to be clear, I say right wing, and I also want to toss in another word, conservative.
Right.
I mean, I
because
use
you know
those
what
terms.
conservative means.
I use those terms very deliberately, because it's certainly not a Republican movement. You are staunch opponents of Donald Trump. And the modern Tea Party Republican movement, which is not conservative, by
You
any
have-
means.
Hold on. Stop. Full stop. You have that ass backwards, dude.
Yeah, all right.
Conservatives cannot be centrist, but Republicans can be.
It's outrageous. You
No,
All
can't-
it's
right,
not.
all right. Before we go on with
Also,
this, I have a few
hold on,
things
hold on,
to
hold on,
open.
hold on. Wait. I'm still wrapping my brain around one thing before we start. Is your name really Pip?
No. Why would I give you guys my real name?
Yeah, I would dox you if you did that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
honestly.
you absolutely would.
All right.
Right? I'm already concerned because most of your friends are Nazis.
Okay,
Oh my God.
okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
This
what are you
is-
gonna do about it, buddy?
This is your brain on leftism, bros. This
This
is
is-
what happens
this
when you
is
don't
just your
take the
brain on
grill
wing
pill.
cut.
I literally pitched myself as being easy to trigger as a result of my genuine leftism, but it seems like Micah is the easy one to trigger here, which I find delightful personally.
No, it's
Well-
not me being triggered. It's just me being in absolute disbelief.
It's so
Okay.
It's disbelief.
it's so obscenely obvious to anybody listening to this how genuinely rattled you are by me right now.
Okay. Before we continue on with this, we'll see the rest of the show. Whom rattle who's? Whom rattle
rattles
whom?
what? What's his
Exactly.
rattled?
What is rattled?
You guys
So,
are gonna have trouble
before-
rattling me because I'm so fucking
Pip,
drunk.
shut the fuck up! Okay,
Please.
so
Oh, God.
here we go. So we're gonna start today talking about YouTube treading on us. Notorious fascist and pedophile platform YouTube deleted one of our videos, episode 13 of the Grillcast. And the reason that they cited presidential election integrity, content that advances false claims that widespread fraud, errors, or glitches change the outcome of any US presidential election. Now, we have never done this.
No.
We never have claimed this. We never would claim this because we don't care enough to do so.
I'll add that the guests that we had, the reason is because the guests that we had made claims of election fraud, and I straight up responded to that by saying, "You're just big mad." That's how. So what did we do?
We didn't do anything. There's all these election fraud debunking videos, right? And that's what we did. We debunked his claim and made it clear that he was just big mad. And what does YouTube do? They're notorious landphobes, and they hate us, and they removed us. So we'll be uploading an archive of all of our videos onto a new website that will update you in the future. Probably
I have a question. I may have asked this in the past, but what is a landphobe?
We'll get
You.
into that later. You.
Landphobe? You
You.
think I'm a landphobe?
Yes.
I like land. I live in a place now that has a lot of land. Land is cool. I'm not afraid of it.
Yeah, okay.
He's being disingenuous again.
He's being disingenuous.
This time I am being disingenuous. You're correct. But
All
it's
right.
just such an outrageous term that I can't help but call attention to it. Because landphobe is an outrageous term that I can't help but call attention to.
Well, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about this.
Turn your Game Boy off.
Yeah, that was a Game Boy sound. turn your soy Nintendo off,
It was
bro.
actually my phone. I apologize. I did not mute it.
That's okay. So we're gonna talk about Derek Chauvinist getting destroyed by the courts. Now, I think we can all agree Derek Chauvinist, noted landphobe, being destroyed and decimated for his crimes against people of land is a positive thing and a positive turn for this country. Finally, the courts are upholding that land lives matter.
Does this shit work on anybody? Holy shit.
Do you not
What?
believe that George Floyd was a landlord, Pip?
That's what? No, I
You
don't
don't?
know. It's not that I don't believe whether or not George Floyd was a landlord. I don't really have an opinion on whether or not George Floyd was a landlord. I imagine he was,
Well, it's
given
not a
that
matter of opinion.
that's exactly. It's not really a matter of an opinion, but I'm just surprised at the framing that you decided to go in when discussing the Chauvin issue.
Why?
Because most people don't discuss land phobia when they're talking about this particular issue. They talk about, the racism involved and, whether or not the cop killed a guy and therefore was
Yeah,
held
he did kill a
accountable.
guy.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Or murdered a guy should
He did.
probably be
Yeah.
would probably be a better term.
He murdered
So,
a landlord.
well,
Well, he was convicted of murder, so he obviously murdered him.
I mean, that's look, whatever floats your boat, gentlemen.
Are you okay, buddy?
Yeah, I'm fine. Go for it. The term land phone got me really sad for a moment.
It gets me sad too, knowing that there's people out there who literally hate me just for owning land and just for renting it out at a fair market price.
Yeah. Just like Derek Chauvinist hated George Floyd.
You could certainly understand why the have-nots might have some contempt for the haves.
Yeah, because they're fucking jealous and they're just bad people who don't want to work.
Is
But
that your
that's
feeling?
what we're saying, Pip. We're saying that's how we got to this place where you have, Derek Chauvinist, who's just some lowly rentoid, and he sees a successful entrepreneur like George Floyd, who owns land, is a landlord, and he takes his hatred and he takes it out on this innocent man. Like he murders him in cold blood in full view of everybody. And the media who are we all know they're landphobes. They turn it into a race issue instead of highlighting.
Disingenuously.
Yeah, disingenuously, they turn it into a race issue instead of highlighting the fact that this is part of the long saga of landphobia in this country.
I think I have to go, fellas.
Oh,
I'm
wait,
sorry.
Pip.
I'm not in on this bit, and it just sounds awful. All due respect to you guys, I really think that you guys have something. I don't know what it is, and it's not something I would ever be interested in, but you're buried under so many levels of weird, cringy irony that I'm not into. I'm not into because I'm not this weird internet guy. I'm just not.
You
And
sound
I
like a weird
feel-
internet guy.
I get that. I get that. But like, that's just not the truth. The truth is that I got a
But it
social
is.
life and a girlfriend, and this is really
Oh my
weird what
God.
you guys are doing. Like,
I also have those.
I'm sure you
Yeah.
do.
I
And
have a hot girlfriend.
I don't mean to say that you don't. I just mean like this is really weird for people who
Here.
aren't in it.
If
And
you
I
if you
don't
keep
think-
repeating keep repeating yourself enough
I
times,
don't think I want to be a part of it. I
Pip,
think
Pip.
it's super weird.
Look, we can move on to something else. You were just calling Micah triggered like 5 minutes ago, and now you're
Yeah.
saying you're gonna
when
leave.
we're triggered. Like,
You could call me triggered if you'd like, but
I would like to.
simply,
I'll be
yeah,
down.
I mean, it's just kind of what it is. You're signaling hard, bro.
if you guys want to do a show where this is like an example of having triggered someone, that's fine. I don't really care. But it's so dumb. It's so aggressively stupid.
You're
and
still
I
going.
just don't want to be a part of
You've
it.
already
Okay,
used a lot
Pip,
of
Pip.
adjectives.
I'll talk to you about. I'll
Wait,
talk to you-
wait,
I'll
don't
talk to you
leave. No,
guys later.
seriously. Pip, don't leave, please. Because
Well,
if you leave,
why?
just let me press stop recording so that it uploads, and then we can use it. It needs to, like, upload. If you're actually seriously leaving. Otherwise, we can move on to something else. Don't you want to pitch us socialism?
Not really. I think you're a bunch.
Alright, do you want me to press stop? God damn it! Okay, so we got him pretty mad. He ended up leaving the show. I had to hit him up, talk him off the ledge. You know how it goes sometimes when cucks get a little bit hysterical, but I got him to come back and continue the episode. So we're gonna start from there. Enjoy.
Tax. But whenever I would have them at school, people would just laugh because I'm so cartoonishly over the top. And I know that you're an audio podcast only, so none of your listeners can see my face. But it's highly expressive, and forgive me, I'm allowed to say this. It's very Jewish in a very in a kind of like I'm a little offended every time I look in the mirror way. So I would just react to things naturally, and people would just laugh. So I'm like, okay, I could start doing this for attention, and then I continued to do that for a bit, and then I did a bunch of drugs and alcohol, and now I'm just sort of spiraling through life, which I guess is what your impression of most left wingers is.
No.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay, him. But
And that's fair, but the fact that I'm a cultural stereotype should not like indicate anything about other people who share my beliefs, because most of them
No.
do have their shit together.
I mean, I disagree
Right.
with that, but I will
promise
also
you,
say
if I had my shit together, I wouldn't be doing this show.
that's probably
That's-
true.
Yeah.
well,
no,
yeah.
I mean, but at some point I'll get my shit together, and hopefully this will just be a weird little asterisk in my life. But or your lives.
I mean, for me, this is a great program. I've had a lot of people reach out to me and say, "Hey, man, like I love listening to your show. It helps my day go by faster." And like, I don't know, it's not your type of comedy, and I get that. But there's a lot of people who really enjoy what we do because we just shit on people.
So you consider yourselves to be entertainers.
Absolutely.
Of
Okay.
some
I think
variety.
that's what the common ground between us is. And I was going to bring on a buddy on the show, and unfortunately he couldn't make it. But he's actually a pretty cool guy. He does public policy in New Jersey at he works for like the city council, and he does all kinds of shit providing housing for the homeless by fronting them their security deposits. And I was
Right, that would go right in my pocket. I would love
Right.
that.
Right, I bet you love that as a what do you call it, a land chad?
I don't know what a security deposit is. Do you mean the mandatory moving in tip?
Yeah, I wouldn't call it that. The security deposit, which I guess you ironically or unironically call it that, because that's essentially
Unironically.
what it is for a lot of people, unfortunately. I had to literally take my last landlord to court to get my security deposit back, and that was
Like
a
I
pain in
said,
the
the
ass.
courts have been rigged against landlords for a long time,
No,
and we're
dude,
finally seeing
he literally was trying to
some
steal
justice.
my money. What are you talking about?
Well, what did you do to the property that he demanded to keep the tip?
I did nothing. He literally just stopped returning my calls.
So
you
you
know,
were
when-
you were harassing him.
No, I wasn't harassing him. I was trying to get my money that he owed me. Right. No,
But why?
I was
But why
certainly-
did he keep? Are you sure he didn't give you a reason?
No, he never gave me a reason, and then he did show up to court, and I finally got the money. But the point
You're
of the
too busy
matter-
working hard, like all us landlords do.
My original point is I was gonna bring this guy on because he's definitely up your alley as a land chad. I think that you guys would have had a really interesting conversation. But as a landlord, how would you feel about a program that would help people with their security deposits so they could actually move in somewhere?
That's a great program.
Yeah,
like you were
so
saying.
you would support public funding for a program like that?
Yeah.
I love sucking in government money. Like
Yeah.
any government program that goes into landlords' pockets, that's reparations.
Reparations for what?
Well, for the widespread land phobia that we've faced in this country, like the eviction moratorium. Do you know how many hardworking people of land have been put in a really hard place because of that?
I really wish you wouldn't say things like that, but I guess I can't stop you, so I'm just
Okay,
gonna...
well, look. Imagine that these people are able to take 3 vacations in a year, and now they're only because of the moratorium, which has been extended by Joe Biden, who we thought was going to be, an end to the troubles.
An
Are you
ally.
kidding? Joe Biden is a centrist guy.
It's now. We're now in a position where we can only go on 1 vacation a year.
I would really think that
Maybe
you guys
2.
would be celebrating Joe Biden because,
And
my
we do
goodness,
often.
Joe
Dude, we
Biden
often- yes.
is validation for every asshole pundit who would say things like the true answer is in the middle and Americans like a moderate and most people are centrists, which I always have
But
to...
why is that so enraging? Why is the idea of that so enraging?
I didn't say it was enraging, or maybe I did, but I think if I did, enraging was a poor term. Maybe frustrating.
Maybe triggering?
Sure, frustrating.
Because look, I don't want to debate leftism. I really don't, because
nobody does.
I feel like anybody listening to it has heard most of what I would have to say, and there is less than zero chance of me swaying you guys on anything. I think that we could respectfully agree to disagree on most things, but
Probably not most things.
Yeah, I think we've been respectfully disagreeing thus far. Very respectful.
Yeah, I mean, it's been somewhat respectful. I mean, I rage quit a few minutes ago, and I'll do it again.
Wait. Pip, you gotta do me a favor. If you're gonna rage quit, please just tell me so I can stop. Let it
Sorry.
upload super quick. It's okay.
Sorry.
I understand.
You understand that I'm actually extraordinarily fucked up.
Yeah.
Why don't
fine.
Why don't we move on to whatever you had planned? I'm sorry.
All right. Let's go ahead and move on to our next subject. Now, you said Americans were not interested in centrism, but
No, that's not what I said. Just to clarify, what I said was that I think that a lot of pundits would say that most people are centrists and want compromise and want something in the middle. And as somebody who has actual beliefs, whether or not you guys think they're genuine or disingenuous, which is what Micah called them, or whether or not you think they're true or fair, I do think that most people are wrong to be happy with a president like Joe Biden. I think Joe Biden didn't do a lot to solve a lot of deeply rooted problems and won't do those things.
Yeah, and that's why we love him.
And that's what I was saying, is that you were criticizing Joe Biden. I would think that Joe Biden, with his skyrocketing approval rating, would be the ultimate validation of centrism.
He is.
I would think that you guys would be so empowered by Joe Biden's popularity.
We are.
We are. And look, understand this. We often praise Joe Biden and his powerful centrist aura, but just because we enjoy him, we're radical centrists. We don't 100% approve of anybody, and we're willing to call them out because that's the kind of hard-hitting journalism you get only on the Grillcast. Are you smoking weed?
Sure am.
Based.
Yeah. Do you think I could do this if I wasn't smoking weed?
Okay.
Okay, so Matthew
it's legal in my
McConaughey.
state.
Matthew
What-
McConaughey may be a viable candidate for Texas governor. Poll shows actor ahead of Abbott. He leads Governor Greg Abbott 45% to 33% in new polls. Now, Abbott, he's a GOP wing cuck. He's a hard-line conservative Texas shoot-'em-up gun type, right? And we have Matthew McConaughey, who we've covered multiple times on this show. He calls himself aggressively centrist. And I think the people of Texas are responding to that. When you have Ted Cruz and Beto O'Rourke embarrassing your state in front of the whole country, I mean, how could you not fall to the middle and embrace the grill pill?
Well, first things, I I would argue that Beto O'Rourke is very centrist. So I don't know why he's an embarrassment to the country.
I would
from
give
your
Beto
perspective.
O'Dork a fucking swirly if I saw him.
Because he's dorky?
He's a pussy.
See,
I would beat him up unironically, but not in like a mean way, in a funny way. I'd give
so
him like
you
a
would
noogie.
beat him up in a not mean way.
I just don't like how he pretends not to be white.
He pretends he's not white. He's like, oh no, I'm not Jeremy or whatever the fuck his name is. I'm Beto. Beto. Everyone calls me Beto.
I mean, look, people have nicknames. I'm Pip.
Yeah, but you're not.
I think you got to spot the man a nickname. I think you can
Also,
criticize
no centrist, no centrist.
politics.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go for it. No,
I'm
no
just saying,
centrist.
no centrist is going to support the sweeping kind of anti-gun legislation that he supports.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. Y'all like your guns.
Yeah, well, so do tankies.
Gun is something that I'm actually fairly centrist about as a non-tanky leftist. So I don't tend to join that particular discussion, which is a very centrist take. And that's another thing I wanted to bring to the table today. I'm actually emotionally quite centrist. And I think a lot of Americans are. I think that's why Joe Biden is so popular. I think that's why the show Big Bang Theory is so popular. I think it all comes
Bazinga.
from the same place, and it's from a very similar place that I think Micah and you guys touched on earlier, that most people just want to grill. I think that's a fair observation about humankind. I want it to be untrue, but I think there might be a grain of truth to it. Certainly not a whole podcast worth, but some truth to it.
Well, we'll strive to prove that perception of centrism, or the aura, the desire for centrism, wrong.
What does a truly centrist political party look like?
Not belonging to a party. It's honestly the centrist political party.
So you would want, ideally, there to be no political parties.
Well, look, I think that we should just blend some ideas from every party together. Like, I think that there are some socialist ideas that have merit, some capitalist ideas that have merit, some nationalist ideas that have merit, and some libertarian ideas. I'm just kidding. No libertarian ideas have merit.
Yeah.
So
None
I
of
think
them?
if we
Pretty much.
I like some libertarian ideals. I like the one about, just we should be free to do whatever we want unless it hurts somebody else. The problem is where they
See-
draw that line is obscene.
I'm on the opposite side of that. I think we should be able to do whatever we want as long as it hurts someone else.
Yeah, that sounds like the kind of opinion you would have.
What would you call this mix of ideologies if you had to put a name to it?
Postmodernism?
Yeah, that's fair.
Which is weird because that's a major fear of the right, from what I understand. They really don't like postmodern Marxists.
Yeah, see, you have this idea that we're some sort of rightoids in disguise, that we're gonna pull off our mask at any point and go, oh, we
No,
got
I
you.
don't. I don't think that's what you're going to do. I think that your politics are conservative politics, and
What is that? What do you mean by politics?
well,
do you mean like
I mean-
beliefs? Do you mean like actions? Do you mean?
I think that a lot of what I understand your centrist beliefs to be come from a place of passivity. Because you keep mentioning that people don't really want to care about things, but
I mean, do you disagree with that though?
just because it might be true that people don't want to care about things doesn't mean that things don't matter.
You
That's
have to
just-
understand, Pip. I didn't mean
Yeah.
that people don't care about like things. I meant what I was trying to get at is that people only care about things that are intimate and or pertinent to themselves and theirs. Like it.
Right,
it's-
which is why it's hard to make social change, because you can't get people who aren't directly impacted by things to care about them. And that is something that you guys have wryly observed in your centrist podcast. It's sort of like the political philosophy for people who don't care about politics.
But you have to understand that part of it, it's not just not caring, but it's looking at it and saying, I can do better. It's really the ultimate form of caring. It's not caring about the dichotomy that's laid in front of me. See, if you watch as much Rick and Morty as I've watched, as much Richard and Mortimer
I've
as
actually
I've
watched
consume.
lots of Rick and Morty. I love that show.
Yeah, and you should probably watch more because it'll probably help you accelerate your cognitive function to
No,
what
I
I
know
have.
Rick and Morty is like a meme. Is that what you're doing?
What's a meme?
Okay, never mind.
Okay, so look, you have to understand it's about establishing a new dichotomy, about establishing a third way, if you will, you know?
Third way, huh?
We're talking about third, fourth, fifth, and possibly even sixth positions that you can have.
It's like this. You look at a political compass, right? You have these ideas about yourself. Oh, I landed in this corner. Oh, I landed here. This means I'm lib left.
Yeah.
But what you need to understand is that the political compass is not nearly nuanced enough, and where you should actually try and test yourself is in a 4D hypercube.
Okay, what is I don't know what a 4D hypercube is.
And you say you watch Rick and Morty, and you don't know what a 4D hypercube
I've
is.
seen the show. I haven't had it memorized. So I apologize if I missed a couple things.
If you read my Pickle Rick fan fiction, you'll probably get a better grasp of what I'm talking about.
So anyway, what do you think Matthew McConaughey would be a good governor for Texas?
Do I think he would be a good governor? I tend to favor people with experience, but I also recognize that people with experience tend to
experience
fuck
doing
up a
what,
lot
you know?
too. So I don't know anything about Matthew McConaughey. I know he plays douchebags really well, which
He'd make
I
a great
guess
governor.
is a key trait in any politician. So I get that why people might want to vote for him, but
Would you take him over or the Republican governor?
I would, yeah.
Okay,
Base.
we've reached a compromise. Base.
Knowing
Yes.
knowing who the governor is.
Now, when we look at this poll and break down the numbers a little bit, 56% of Republican voters said they'd vote for Abbott, compared with only 30% for McConaughey. But that's actually pretty huge. That's 30% of them saying, I would not vote for the Republican incumbent.
Yeah, that sounds really, really good for Matthew McConaughey.
Democrats broke 66% to
Alright.
8% for McConaughey. Independents 44% to 28%. Now, that's pretty huge, but one bad thing about this is that Democratic primary voters, 51%, said they wanted a progressive candidate for governor. More so than a centrist. Only 25% of Democratic primary voters want a centrist.
So they didn't learn anything from Beto O'Rourke.
No. That's the sad thing is that, you know, on both sides, we have all these people saying, I would vote for Matthew McConaughey. I would rather have him than the other guy. That would be based. But then they look at it and they look at their primaries and the Republicans are like, well, I want Abbott. He's cool. And then you look at the Democrats, they say they would vote for him 66% to 8%. But rather than compromise and win, they're going to vote in some progressive in the primaries and lose again.
Is that what you think's gonna happen?
Yes.
It's Texas, yeah. I would bet money on it.
That sounds like something Texas would do. But yeah, no, I think that you should run candidates that you believe in. So I can't fault them for that.
I absolutely can. I'm a vote shamer.
I don't know anything about Matthew McConaughey's politics. So
we don't either. We've watched
Yeah.
multiple videos of him talking about it, and we can't decipher anything he's saying. It's perfect. It's
but
exactly who
that's-
we need in government.
So he's empty politician. There's a lot of
no,
those.
it's not. But he's not a politician, though.
Does he
He's
have
just-
a website? Does he have stated positions?
He's just like, it's just like, yo, guys, can we all just like chill? Like that's basically his platform.
I know his platform on high school girls. I can get behind that. You know, I've watched him say that he's not just centrist, he's aggressively centrist.
Yeah.
Now that's
Oh,
based. That's somebody
he
who
actually called himself aggressively
Yes.
centrist.
Yes.
Yeah,
He
that's
said
that's a little
we should all be aggressively centrist.
Oh goodness,
That's what he
that's
said.
awful.
He probably listens to this show.
That's
No.
yeah. I mean, that's what I
You
said.
can't take a neutral position on everything. That doesn't make sense.
It's not a neutral position. It's just a chill one.
Okay.
It's
Well,
aggressively chill.
I mean, wouldn't you agree, as a nuanced centrist, that there are some issues that you have to take a yes or no position on?
Like
You
what?
can't take a maybe,
Like what?
like gay marriage.
No.
So you would be in favor of civil unions, and you think
Yeah.
that's a fair compromise?
Yeah.
It's outrageous.
Well, I would actually. I mean, I don't really even think. I
You
don't
think
the
someone
government-
else's opinion?
I don't believe in marriage.
Yeah, I don't believe in marriage. Like as a government,
Oh, that's very
contract or as
centrist.
a.
You know who I
As a
heard that
matter
from
of-
first? The first person to tell me that was my dad, who is also a self-described radical moderate.
Your dad
he-
sounds based. Can we
Yeah,
get him
he-
on the show?
Do we
No, you can't.
He
get
might
my
not
dad on the
rage
show.
quit.
I can't even get my dad on the phone. He's a rabbi. He doesn't talk to me. Yeah.
Aw.
No, it's okay. That's why I drink.
Fucking Christ.
You ever see that episode of The Simpsons with Krusty and his dad?
Yeah.
That's actually my life, but I don't have a successful clown show.
Can I ask some rabbi related questions?
Sure, man. We could do the Jewish thing. That's part of my brand.
Sweet. So, do they really like suckle on the foreskin after they snip it?
So
Is that for real?
There is a very, very, very small segment of rabbis in the Hasidic sect known as I think the Satmar Hasidim. I believe they are the ones who are still doing what you are referring to as suckling the penis. It's called Mitzitza B'Peh. The Orthodox Union, meaning the actual centrist organization that speaks for Orthodox Judaism, considers Mitzitza B'Peh to be completely forbidden. However, there are some ultra-Orthodox Jews who still do it, and it's gross and should not be done.
Do you get adrenochrome from that? I imagine that's like the purest adrenochrome that you can possibly harvest.
Jesus,
Like
man.
straight from the baby's faucet, you know?
No, yeah. So, no, that's not really done widely.
And let me ask you another question about Judaism.
Sure.
So every other religion actively tries to convert people, and they really want them to be part of their religion, and they think you go to hell if you don't join their religion. But Jewish people generally make it really hard to become Jewish. I'm a fan of gatekeeping, and I think that's cool, but
Oh, it's not gatekeeping.
by
You're
making it so
misunderstanding
hard,
it.
do you want me to go to hell? Is that what's happening here?
No, you are completely misunderstanding. What it really is, and this is true, this isn't me being funny. Being a Jew
We'll
is
see
a
about
huge
that.
being a Jew is a huge pain in the ass. Because you gotta do a lot of shit. Keeping kosher is a bitch, praying 3 times a day, fucking legitimately on the Sabbath. You can't do anything. You can't drive a car. You can't turn a light on. It's a pain in the ass. So the reason why Jews discourage conversion is if you are not Jewish, you are not obligated to do any of that, and you go to heaven if you're a good person.
Is that why banks aren't open on Saturday?
Yeah, I don't know what the don't do that. That's shitty.
Okay,
Don't
I'm
do
sorry.
that.
I'm sorry.
Shitty. It's not.
I thought it was
that,
funny.
It could be funny. If I said it, it would have been funny. But
I don't have a J pass.
the reason why Jews discourage conversion is because we want people to go to heaven. And if you, as a non-Jew, are just a decent person, you'll go right to heaven. But if you convert to Judaism and then don't keep it, you're going to hell. So that's why we discourage conversion. It's for your sake.
So you're saying that Jews really, really, really like non-Jews a lot,
I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but generally, I think we're okay with y'all.
which is why they discourage conversion.
No, I mean, it's more like you don't want this.
Yeah, they're saving people from a bad time.
Right.
That's what you're
I
saying.
don't think that there's a
You're
God.
saying being Jewish is a bad time.
I think that it is, yeah. I think unironically that is why Jews discourage conversion, because it's really fucking hard to be an observant Jew, and we wouldn't wish that on our worst enemy, including you guys.
Okay.
What a cross to carry. What a burden to hold.
Yeah, I mean,
Anything? Any other interesting topics we can cover?
Sure. I do want to ask one more thing about Judaism, though.
sure, go for it.
I consume most of my news and get most of my opinions from 4chan, and they have a lot of wacky ideas about you guys. And I try not to, I want to give you a fair shake because I'm under the impression that you're an underground lizard cult.
That's
Is
your
that true?
question? Are Jews an underground lizard cult? That's your question?
That's just
we're
what
not-
I've heard.
It's a dumb question, all right, because we're not underground. You see Jews.
Well, maybe you have caves
Everywhere.
there, and then you surface.
So, are you asking if we go inside the caves or underground, and then our lizard forms emerge in the dead of night? No, that doesn't happen.
Okay, cool. I thought
Yeah.
that sounded preposterous.
No.
I just wanted to clear that up.
No, that's a good question, you centrist guy who gets all his news from 4chan, or pretends to.
Well, I get half of my news from 4chan and half of my news from Slate.
I only go on 4chan for the advice board.
I've never been on 4chan.
Don't go.
Don't
Yeah.
go.
Ever go.
Why not?
It's a silly place.
It seems like it would be the kind of thing that would make me super sad.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
You gotta watch that sadness.
I don't like
Yeah.
a sad Pip. I like a happy Pip. I like a fighting shape Pip. You know what I'm saying?
Right on, man. Me too. But sometimes the world is just it's just a rough place.
Not if you're a centrist, and that's why we want to convert you. But
No.
we'll move on. We'll move on. I guess I can talk about. I went camping for a few days these weeks. I guess it's a little bit of story time. This episode's a little bit disjointed, but that's okay. I often hear the advice, go outside. People get mad at me and they say, wow, bro, go outside, bro. And I turned off my computer for once. I got up and I went outside with some of the bros. And let me tell you guys, going outside is some of the best advice that you can take and do. I went out for a good 4 days, brought some of the bros with me, go out deep in the woods, yell about a bunch of stupid shit, throw big rocks onto smaller rocks, and then laugh like cavemen when they're destroyed. Oh, ha, 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 ha. You go fishing a little bit, you go hiking, you get out there, and the whole world just kind of melts away. Everything, everyone's dumb opinions, everybody's stupid ideas, they just melt away. All worries. Pip, you often say, there are real problems and real worries in this world. And I can tell you from going outside that that's not true. And if you just go outside, all of those concerns will wash away and you'll be reborn anew into somebody who's just so chilled out and so accepting and loving. And I can't overstate enough how based and grill pilled it is to get out there and go outside. My friends, please go outside. Pip, you got any thoughts on that?
Well, I moved to Colorado from New Jersey, so I'm obviously very pro going outside. I don't think the simple act of going outside eliminates the threat of climate change, but I understand if you can't actively see it while walking, you can't see the planet getting hotter, so I understand how it might look like everything's okay because outside is peaceful. So I guess that's the only place I'm going to disagree with you. However, I am in favor of going outside.
You're just not going outside for long enough if you have this delusion that there's these problems that
or that
these
things
problems
matter.
need to be solved. Oh, things matter. You know what me and my bros did? We all went, and you can see this if you go to our Facebook group, the Grillcast. Everybody, go ahead and join that group if you haven't already, because you can see my
There's
tattoo
no way I'm doing that.
on the ankle of my foot. Pip, you're not allowed anyways. That says based. Just a 5-letter word. Based.
All right, could we wrap
Not
this up?
just
Because
me.
I really
Not
only
just
gave you
me.
guys an hour. I have
Okay.
a call in like
That's
10
true.
minutes. Yeah.
Okay, we'll wrap up.
Sorry
me and
that
all
this
my
was
bros.
so disjointed. I'll do it sober next time.
That's okay, Pip. That's okay. All right. Well, is there anything I guess that you want to plug then?
No, I don't think that this was a good example of anything. I wouldn't want people to hear this and be like, I want to hear more from that guy. I don't want those fans.
All right.
So if you're listening, don't follow me. If you don't follow me, don't do so at Pip the Comic, which I never post on because I hate Twitter. But that's
Based?
my own. Yeah, Twitter kind of sucks, man. It's
It does.
yeah,
agree.
it's a weird platform. I don't
It's a
dig it.
terrible, terrible place.
Yeah. But anyway, if you don't, if I ever decide to tweet again, you could not follow me at Pip the Comic. But don't, because I don't want you to.
All right. And I'm going to go ahead and plug Alcoholics Anonymous. Look, there's some people out there who just
Oh
have
my
a bit
God, not again.
have a bit of a problem. And
Is
I
this
think
the
that
second time you've plugged Alcoholics Anonymous?
Not on
the
the show.
second time, not on the show, no. So look, if anyone out there listens to this episode and thinks, wow, maybe I sound like Pip sometimes, I need to get help, then go ahead and find your local AA chapter and they'll help you
Or
out.
NA.
Or NA, or really just go outside is what I would tell you. So,
Hey.
yeah.
I would like to say that I go outside a lot. I like to hike. It's fun.
Even better with the beer, am I right, buddy?
I don't hike with a beer typically because it drains your energy.
Cringe. Peace out, my grillers!
Yeah, I'm old as a boomer. My mind said I'm zooming. Everything cooler, long as I'm not Laura Lumen. If you think I'm not number one, I just spelled that rumor. Hit the victory royale on some motherfucking coochie. Default dance on a bitch. Hit the default dance on a bitch. Floss dance while I'm flossing in a whip. Victory royale when that chopper hit. Self-incrimination, I have no participation. News keep asking, I don't say shit.
I literally pitched myself as being easy to trigger as a result of my genuine leftism, but it seems like Micah is the easy one to trigger here. I think I
5
have
minutes
to go,
later.
fellas.
Oh,
I'm
wait,
sorry.
Pip.
I'm not in on this bit, and it just sounds awful. You could call me triggered if you'd like, but
I
I'd
would like to.
simply,
Yeah,
and-
I mean, it's just kind of what it is.